أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد our discussion is still on verse 180 to 182 where Almighty Allah is saying أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم كتب عليكم إذا حضر أحدكم الموت إن ترك خيرا الوصية للوالدين والأقربين بالمعروف حقا على المتقين فمن بدله بعد ما سمعه فإنما إثمه على الذين يبدلون إن الله سميع عليم فمن خاف من موس جنفا أو إثما فأصلح بينهم فلا إثم عليه إن الله غفور رحيم صدق الله العلي العظيم وبلغ رسول النبي الكريم. We started discussion on this verse yesterday and we said the importance of writing will. Just as a reminder, we said it from the beginning that will writing before the Ayatul Irth was revealed, that is the verses of inheritance, it was compulsory to write will. But after the revelation of Ayatul Irth, which is the verse of inheritance, some fuqaha said it is no more compulsory, but it is highly and emphatically recommended, as we said. Our discussion yesterday, we were saying that one is, as according to the verse, he said, it's saying, فَمَنْ بَدَّلَهُ بَعْدَ مَا سَمِعَهُ فَإِنَّمَا إِثْمُهُ عَلَى الَّذِينَ يُبَدِّلُونَ. Whoever changed the will after the testator has written his will, then that person has committed sin, and he should know that Allah hears and knows everything that is going. Therefore, we said that one is not allowed to change the will after the person that the deceased that wrote the will, which is a testator, after he has written his will, one is not allowed to change it. And we said, فَمَنْ خَافَ مِنْ مُوسٍ جَنَفًا أَوْ إِثْمًا فَأَصْلَحَ بَيْنَهُمْ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. We also said yesterday that a musin, that is a testator, may not do it intentionally. What? If he writes, one is writing will, one is expected to write will in accordance to the Sharia, but for one reason or the other he made mistake and wrote a will that is contrary to what the Sharia says. What does Sharia says? And we want to remind you also that when we say will now, we mean biman al-akhos, that special meaning that is attached to it now, which is the will, 1/3 of the whatever the testator left, 1/3 of it is what we refer to as will most of the time now, because we said that the testator has right of 1/3 of whatever he left. We gave an example that if he left 15 million or 30 million and 15 million was used to pay debt and some others, and it remains 15 million, then the testator, which is Al-Musi, has right of 1/3 of it, which is 5 million. That 1/3, he may write a will, make a will, how it should be spent. Therefore, he is not expected to make a will more than 1/3 of whatever is left. Like if 15 million is left and he make will of 10 million, automatically that will has to be adjusted because his right is only 5 million, which is 1/3. That is why he's saying either by mistake or he knows intentionally and he wrote the will the way he wanted to write it. We made the example yesterday. Either he has problem with some people, he just wrote it anyhow he likes, he doesn't care about Sharia aspect of it. In that case, the will executor, which is the guardian, the person he has left that he should execute his will, has right to tamper with the will, to adjust it the way Sharia said it should be done. In that case, we said yesterday that originally one is not allowed to tamper with the will, but if situation demand, like what we said now, there's need for it. Some fuqaha has brought exemptions where there is exemption, where on situation where one is allowed to adjust the will, because originally one is not allowed to tamper with it. Al-istithna yartabi bi wasiya al-mudawwana bi shaklin ghayri sahih. We said yesterday that this exception is connected to the wasiya that is written, incorrectly written. It's written by a testator, but it does not go in accordance to Sharia. وَهُنَا يَحِقُّ لِلْوَصِيِّ. Here now, it is right of the wasi, of the person that he says to execute the will, that he should not أن ينبه الموصي على خطئه إن كان حيا. At times, the Musi testator may be alive. He will call the person, Mala, come, please, when I die, this is the will, this is my will. Try to execute it the way I wrote. But after the executor see the will, he discovered that the man has made what? Mistake. In that case, he has to bring his attention. Tell him that here you have made mistake. You are only entitled to 1/3 of whatever you left. Therefore, adjust it. وأن يؤدل وصي الوصية إن كان ميتا. And the executor, the person that to execute the will, he has right to adjust the will, even if the deceased, the testator has died. He has right to adjust it. وحدد الفقهاء مواد جواز التعديل فيما يلي. The fuqaha has spelled out those areas that is allowed to change the will. One, إذا كانت الوصية تتعلق بأكثر من ثلث مجموع ثروة. As I said yesterday, if the wasiya is connected to more than 1/3 of the entire wealth that he left, as I said now, the entire wealth he left is 15 million, and he's only entitled to what? 5 million. But in his wasiya, it shows that he exceeds that his right. In that case, fuqaha has given ijaz the permission that the executor should adjust it to 1/3. فَقَدْ أَكَّدَتِ النُّصُوصُ الْمَعْصُومِينَ. He said the traditions, the hadith of Ma'sumin, of the infallibles, ala jawaz al-wasiya fi thuluth. Now, he says that it is allowed to adjust it to 1/3. وَحَذَّرَتْ مَا زَادَ عَلَى ذَلِكَ. And they caution anything that is more than 1/3. That is, one should not exceed 1/3. Because the person you left as inheritors, they have their own right. Don't overstep your limit as somebody, as a musi, as a testator. Don't exceed your limit. من هنا لو وصى شخص بتوزيع كل ثروته على غير الورثة الشرعيين. Like for example, if a person made a will to share all his properties to those that are not entitled to it. There are people who are not entitled to it. Either, I said it yesterday, the man is about to die, but he has some grievances against his children. He said, Wallahi, none of them will inherit my property. And he said, this property should be given to others. No. Okay, you have your own what? Right. Your right is 1/3. The remaining 2/3, in as far as these ones are your children, and you have your wife and your mother and your father is there, they also have their right. You don't have right to exceed your limit. Now, فَلَا تَصِيحُ وَصِيَّةً, as I said, if he exceeds more than 1/3, it's not, that wasiya is not okay. وَعَلَى الْوَصِيَّ أَنْ يُقَلِّلَ إِلَى حَدِّ الثُّلُثِ. Then al-wasi, which is the executor, the person to execute the will, and you call him, he should reduce it to 1/3. She reduce his own, the right of the deceased to 1/3. Then he continues saying, number 2, إذا كان في الوصية ما يؤدي إلى الظلم والإثم. As I said yesterday, if the wasiya, the will he has written, is something that will lead to oppression, when I die, just take 5 million, that guy, just use it to imprison him, send him to jail, give 5 million to police, that will not work. Or it will lead to commit sin. As I said, kalwasiyat bi anat marakid fasad. like making will that this to help the Marrakech al-Fasad, the centers of corruption. Nightclub, you said out of the 30 million, like now, for example, if 19 million is what he left, his own right is what? 30 million. He said 20 million should be sent to that nightclub. They should make sure that it's going steady. Nothing should stop it. That will is null and void. It will not be taken into consideration. Then, أو الوصية بترك واجب من الواجبات, or he made will that one of the wajib obligation among the obligations should be left. What are those obligations? These obligations, at times, it might be connected to your fellow human being, as I said, and at times it might be connected to what? To Almighty Allah. If you are owing, it has to be paid, and others. If you owe Hajj, you have money to perform Hajj at a particular time, but for one reason or the other, you say, I don't bloody care of going to Hajj. In as far as you are a Muslim, it's on your neck. And if you don't perform it before you die, that Hajj is what? It's on your neck. It has to be performed after you. If he makes will that nobody should care about it, nobody should listen to that his will. And the executor of the will should make sure that he does what is right. نعم إذا عدت الوصية إلى حدوث النزاع وفساد وسفك الدماء. If the will will lead to dispute, وفساد and corruption, وسفك الدماء and shedding of blood, according to his will, the will he wrote now, you just select two people among your children, everything should be given to them. You want to cause confusion, it can lead to what? Bloodshed. Then وهنا يجب تعديل الوصية بإشراف الحاكم الشرعي. He said here now it is compulsory to change the will, but under the supervision of the legitimate what? Ruler. The will should be changed under the supervision of the legitimate what? Ruler. We call Al-Hakim al-Shari. Now, أبرت الآية بالجنف عن الانحرافات. That is when I say من موسى جنفا أو إثما. That is deviation related to Subil Musi that might happen to the testator himself. He was yati and Sahawin. At that time, he's a human being. He may not intentionally want to do something bad, but out of forgetfulness, he did something that is not right. In that case, the will executor has right to what? To change, to make some amendment and change it. Or at times, as a human being, he may do it intentional. Where he does it intentional, it is you are still expected as a will executor to make the changes, to go in accordance with what? To Islamic what? To Islamic law. And in Al-Fat al-Amdiyya, that is the one he does intentionally. Ibarata inna Allah Ghafur Rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ghafur, is the one that forgives and is compassionate. Tushiru ila ma qad yaka fihi al-wasi guardian min khata'. Even the wasi himself, the will executor, he might commit some mistake when he's trying to do some certain things. He's a human being, but the one he does out of a mistake, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives, because he does not do it intentionally. وَيَقُولُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَعْفُو. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives. And مِثْلُ هَذَا الْخَطَأ, this kind of mistake, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives, because he's a human being. What matters is al-jur'ah, audacity. I have said it here several times. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of Qiyamah, you know reason why He will punish many of us. It is not because of the sin we commit. Allah forgives, but that audacity, you are committing it with audacity. You say nothing can happen. You are challenging Almighty Allah. Then that alone is okay for Allah to punish that person on the day of Qiyamah. But as a human being, when we commit sin, we go back to Almighty Allah in the night. You cry, "Oh Allah, I have come back to you. I have committed sin. I have ruined myself. Oh Allah, I don't have anywhere to run to. Please forgive me." This one shows you have humbled yourself. Almighty Allah will see you when you are talking. He hears you and He will forgive. But when you have that audacity, said, "What? When we are talking, you always bring issue of corruption. You don't want us to have money. Allow us anywhere we see, may we steal." This one now is what Almighty Allah may not take easy with you on the day of Qiyamah. Yes, that is why it is said in Islam, when somebody is committing sin, don't make it open. It is not because we are fearing people, but you should know that Almighty Allah, it should be in your you should bring it to your attention that Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what you are doing, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may not just leave you on the day of Qiyamah. If not, what? Ma yaf'al Allah bi'adhabikum in shakartum wa amantum. What does Allah have to do with your punishment if you are grateful to Him, and you believe in Him? That is, for you to still have belief in your mind, in your heart, when for one reason or the other you are committing sin, that Allah is watching you, is still what? Part of Iman. It's still part of Iman. For you to still have belief that Almighty Allah is watching you, is still part of Iman. Then he's saying Buhuthun. Yeah, as you know, this Mufassir Quran Sheikh Atullah Shirazi that wrote this Tafsir, most of the time he will come after discussing, he will say Buhuthun. That is some research work. He said Falsafatul al-Wasiyya. What is the philosophy behind Wasiyya, writing your Wasiyya? What is the logic? What is the philosophy behind it? He said al-irthu yuwazza حسب القانون الإسلامي بنسبة معينة على عدد محدود من الأقارب. He said al-irthu, that is inheritance, yuwazza, is shared حسب القانون, according to Islamic law, in specific proportions. That is, everyone is assigned. You know what to take as a son, you know what to take as a what? As a daughter, and you know what to take as a father or as a mother, among a limited number of relatives. Among the limited number of relatives. Therefore, it is not everybody in the family that is expected to take what? To benefit from inheritance. There's what we call a batn al-awwal, batn al-thani, wa batn al-thalith. If somebody dies and he left his mother is there, or his father, and he has wife and he has children, these are the only people that are entitled to inherit something from him. No other person, neither his brothers or sisters, because they are batn al-awwal. Except a situation where these people are not there, then you shift to batn al-thani. Therefore, in this case, that is why he's saying the earth, the inheritance, is shared according to Islamic law in specific proportions. Is shared among a limited numbers of relatives. Not all relatives. Somebody may come and say, but you know I'm his uncle. Why is it not extended to me? Nobody is arguing with you, you are his uncle. But are you entitled to it? Yes, the relatives, those who are entitled, they may decide to extend their hands to others. We should all know that there is law. When you want to distribute, share what? The inheritance. At times, you may have some among your brothers that are entitled to this inheritance. It's very rigid. You'll be very rigid. Said, God, this one you are talking, I'm not a part of it too. Let's share it first. If you want to use your own for sadaqah, you can use it for sadaqah. As far as I'm concerned, I need my own. In that case, you don't have right to tamper with it. Share it first, give him his own. After you give him his own, then whatever gets to you as a human being, then if you decide to extend your hand to others, you can extend it. At times, those who are inheriting, who are entitled to inheritance, they may be reasonable. They say that, okay, we are the only people that are entitled to this inheritance. But we have some other, our uncles, we have some our aunties that we know they are seriously in need. What do? If they all arrange that, okay, they will give them something, this is from them, it is not compulsory to extend it to them. That is what he's saying here. Therefore, inheritance must have some specific people to be given this inheritance to. It may be between the relatives, friends, and those you know that has master has a serious problem in al-mal. Walakin la sahmu lahu fi. But these people who made mention now, they don't have portion in the, as far as the law of what? Of inheritance is concerned. وقد يكون بين الورثة من له حاجة أكبر إلى المال من بقية الورثة. Among those to inherit, you may have some of them that are more in need than others. We are all brothers, but me to a certain level I'm doing well. But I can see my brother here is not doing very well. He's wretched. Then this one, they may take it into consideration. They may decide to what? Favor him. Do one thing or the other to see that they improve his financial status. Min huna wada al-Islam qanun wasiya ila janib. That is why I said when we talk about wasiya now, it will be man ala khas. That is, we are talking about the 1/3 of the money. Because as far as the heiress is concerned, Quran has spelled it out how it should be spent, who is entitled to it. Then it is this wasiya that now this man left. Now let's assume the man died, he does not left any what? He does not leave anything behind. Let's assume he owes some money. After the whole money is being paid, there's still 100 million naira in his account remaining. That 100 million naira now is for who? Is for those inheritors. Is that not so? Now, they will come now, they will take 1/3 of it, put it aside. This is haq for the deceased, for the testator, the person that died, which is about 3 million. Then the remaining 16 million, those who are entitled, they will come and share. This 3 million now, the man himself does not leave any will how it should be spent. Then they can decide to say, oh, this is our brother that is in need, seriously in need. Let us extend to him. Okay, add 10 million from it to your own. Then we will send 5 million to that mosque. We will send 2 million to this. There are some orphans that they cannot go to school. Then let's extend to them. There are children that are dropped out from school. Let's extend it to them. That one is from that 1/3 of the money. He said, وَقَدْ يَكُنْ بَيْنَ الْوَرْثَةِ مَنْ لَهُ حَاجَةٌ أَكْبَرُ إِلَى الْمَالِ مِنْ بَقِيَّةِ الْوَرْثَةِ مِنْ هُنَا وَضَعَ الْإِسْلَامُ قَانُونٌ وَسِيَ إِلَى جَانِبٍ. Then he said, from here now, Islam put the law of wasiya alongside qanun al-irs, alongside the law of what? Of inheritance. وَجَازَ لِلْمُسْلِمِ, and it gives permission for Muslim and yatasarraf fi thuluth amwalihi, to dispose 1/3 of his money, as I said. 1/3 of his money. Ba'd al-wafat, after his demise. 1/3 is the right of the deceased. You don't need to cheat him, because he's the owner of the money. God says he has the right of 1/3. That 1/3 should be exempted from the money. Then the remaining one will go to who? To the inheritors. بِشَكْلِ الَّذِي يُرْشِدُ لِمَلَئِ هَذَا الْفَرَاغِ, in such a way that it will guide them to fill this vacuum that remains. أَدِفْ إِلَى مَا سَبَقَ, in addition to what we said, قَدْ يَرْغَبُ إِنسَانًا يَعْمَلْ بَعْدَ مَمَاتِهِ الْخَيْرَاتَ الَّتِي مَا أُوتِيهَ لَهُ أَنْ يَعْمَلَهَا فِي حَيَاتِهِ. He said, in addition to this, somebody may wish, and يَعْمَلْ بَعْدَ مَمَاتِهِ الْخَيْرَاتَ, after his death, there should be what? Charity work should be done after him. Before he died, he wrote that if I die, from this money I left, let's assume he's a multimillionaire. After the whole thing, he still have 500 million. 500 million. He said, now, it should be used. He was unable to do some of this charity work when he was alive. Wamantikul akal, he said the logic of intellect, yafurudu, dictates Allah yuhram hadha shakhs min mithl hadha al-amal al-khayr, that the common sense dictates that you should not deny this man, the owner of the money. You should not deny him from using this money for those charity work he wanted to do with it. You should. That is what we call sadaqah tijariyah. He will continue to get reward even after his demise. Therefore, we shouldn't deny him because he has right of 1/3 of the money. Now, هذا شخص من مثل هذا العمل الخيري الوصية غير المأثورة بالموارد المذكورة. It may not be restricted to these areas where we mentioned. بل على الإنسان أن يشخص في وصية ما لديه من أمانات وما عليه من ديون وأمثالها. But it's on the man, that is the deceased, and يشخص to spell out في وصيته in his will ما لديه من أمانات, all those trusts that are entrusted into his hand. Before he dies, somebody kept 50 million naira with him. He said, please, this 50 million naira, I keep it with you. I will take it from you after some time. He doesn't know death is coming. After his death, he died. But this man should indicate in his will that there's 50 million naira that is not for me. It's for so what? Person. And that person should be given this what? 50 million. Now, and يشخص في وصية ما لديه من أمانات وما عليه من ديون. If he's owing, is indebted to people, he should spell it out. He should say, I'm owing this man at 2 million, the other one 3 million. He should spell them out so that it can be taken away from the wealth he has left. حتى لا يبقى في أمواله شيء مبهم, so that there will be no ambiguity from the money, from the wealth he has left. Min hukuk nas, the right of people, wa hukukillah, and the right of what? Almighty Allah. Whenever we say the right of people now, we don't need to explain again. And whenever we say the right of Allah, we don't need to explain again. Because the right of Allah we all know. As I gave an example, if he's supposed to perform Hajj and he couldn't perform it and he dies, what will happen? It has to be performed after him. He owes some fasting and he negligently, he couldn't do it before he died. It has to be done after him. May Allah continue to strengthen our brothers studying. I said it one time, most of our brothers studying in Iran, this is how they survive. That's why whenever somebody is writing them, say, when you are coming home, buy this thing for me, I just laugh. From where is he going to take money to buy it from? Some of them has to go to Maraji and register their names. Anytime there is fasting, anytime there is salat, please, I want to do. You will see names of students, 1 to 1,000. It gets to a stage, a student was telling me that it gets to a stage, his own name, whenever he goes there again, they say, no, you have taken a lot, we will not give you. This is how they live. Therefore, this type of thing is the one that sustains. If we read about Ayatollah Marashi, the one that has one of the best library in Kum, when he was studying in Najaf, this is how he was able to gather money to set up the library. He will fast. Some of them almost 12 the whole year they fast. It's really feasible, but there is another thing. there's kebab also. Yeah, there's no doubt. But he has to get something, at least to strengthen himself. That is what he's being paid for. Yes. Hatta la yabqa, as I said, so that when he spelled out everything, there will be no ambiguity after his demise. And Nususul Islamiyya, he said, Islamic traditions, akkadat ala daruratil wasiyya, emphatically, it lay emphasis the importance of writing will. Kathir, a lot of emphasis it lays on it. Min dhalika ma ruwiya an Rasulullah. From these traditions, the one that is related from the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ma yanbaghi li imran Muslim an yabita laylatan illa wa wasiyatu tahta rasihi. It is not expected from a Muslim, which we listen very well. It is not expected from a Muslim to sleep a night without his wasiyah under his head. That shows every conscious Muslim is expected to write his wasiyah and put it so that when he dies, his family, they will know how to go about it. This is from the Holy Prophet. What is meant by putting the wasiyah under your head? That is preparing it and arranging it. Arrange your wasiyah. In another riwayah, narration, man mata bighairi wasiyatin mata maytatan jahiliyatan. Whoever dies without writing a will dies the death of ignorance, that is pre-Islamic era. That's why we are expected to what? To be with our wasi at any time. So that, I said it yesterday, you should not say that I'm waiting when death is about to come. When do you know when death is coming? That is, a Muslim should prepare himself all the time. So that when it comes, you submit yourself to Almighty Allah. Then the other one, al-adala fil wasiyya. When you are writing wasiyya, you should be just. It's very, very important. You should be just in your wasiyya. Fi riwayat al-islamiyya, in the Islamic narration, ta'kidun wafi, there is ample what? Emphasis ala adam al-jawl, that non-injustice is not allowed when writing wasiyya. Wa adamu dirar, and you should not harm anybody when you are writing wasiyya. Fil wasiyya yustafad minha jami'an an ta'addi al-hudud al-shar'iyya al-mantiqiyya fil wasiyya amal al-mazmum, that to exceed the limits of Sharia is what? Fil wasiyya amal mazmum, is reprehensible. One is not allowed to exceed. This is what Almighty Allah says. Then you should try to stand by it. Don't go beyond it, because going beyond it, then Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may not forgive you on the day of Qiyamah. Wa min kabairi dhunub, and again, it's not just it's reprehensible. It is part of what? Kabair, major sin. It is part of major sin. Ruwiya and Imam al-Bakri, it is related from Imam Bakri alayhi salam. Man adala fi wasiyati keman kana tasaddaqa biha fi hayati. Whoever is just in his wasiyah, in his will, when he's writing will, is like somebody who gave charity when he's alive. The importance of being just when writing will. You should not, because you have an issue with some of those who are supposed to benefit from you, you deny them. وَمَنْ جَارَ فِي وَصِيَّتِهِ, and whoever is unjust in his will, لَكِيَ اللَّهُ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَهُوَ عَنْهُ مُعْرِضٌ. He will meet Allah on the day of Qiyamah, and Allah will turn away from him. That's why we should not be unjust. When we are writing will, we should always try to be what? Just. وَالْجَارُ فِي الْوَصِيَّةِ, he said to be unjust, or when writing will, who will wasiyah to be akthar min thuluth, is when you write will and you exceed your limit. What is your limit? 1/3. You just take half of it, or 2/3 of it, say, it's my money. I don't care. No, yes, when you are alive, it's your money. You have full total control. But after your demise, you are only entitled to 1/3 of that money, after all the necessary things are being paid. وَحِرْمَانَ الْوَرَثَ مِنْ حَقِّهِمْ, and depriving those who are supposed to inherit from you, from their right, from their legal right. You don't have right to deny them. وَأَوْسَطْ نُصُوص الْإِسْلَامِيَّةِ, Islamic traditions have recommended بِعَدَمِ الْوَصِيَّةِ بِالثُّلُثِ إِنْ كَانَ الْوَرَثَةُ فُقَرَاءُ مُحْتَاجِينَ. You should not even do up to 1/3 if those who are to inherit you are what? If those who are to inherit you are fuqara, they are poor, abject poverty, you are not expected to do that 1/3. That is, وَتَقْلِيلُ النِّسْبَةِ إِلَى الرُّبُعِ وَإِلَى الْخُمْسِ, you can even reduce it to what? 1/4 or 1/5. If those that are supposed to inherit from you are poor and you left 20 million, instead of 1/3, you can reduce it to 1/4 or 1/5, so that you just take small out of it. Something it should be used after your demise, so that those who are supposed to inherit you will not face calamity. Mawdu' al-adala fil wasiyya, he said the subject of justice in writing will, yablugu darajatan min al-ahamiyya, it has gotten to a very, very high stage that we see in this verse. Then there's a riwayah that say an yariju min al-ansar tawaffa walahu sibyatun sigar. He said, if somebody from Ansar dies and he has young children, walahu sittatu min al-raqiq, and he has about 6 what? Slaves. Then fa'ataqahum in the mauti, he freed the whole slaves. Walaysa lahu malun ghayruhu, and he does not have money, any other wealth apart from those 6 slaves. Now that you free the whole slaves before you die, then your children now, what are they going to gain from? Huh? Then Alim and Nabi, Rasulullah came to know about this, that this is what the man did. Sa'ala qawmahu, he asked his people, Ma sana'tum bi sahibikum, what have you done with your companion? Huh? Qalu dafannahu, we have buried him. Then call amma inni law alimtuhu ma taraktukum tadfununahu. Wallahi, had it been I know, I will not allow you people to bury him. I will not allow you people to bury him. Ma Ahlul Islam, bury him in the midst of the Muslims. That shows, according to Rasulullah, he sees him as somebody who has deviated from the path of what? Part of Islam. Now, Taraka waladahu sigarun yatakaffafuna nas. He said he left his children to start begging. He's supposed not to do that. He's supposed not to leave his children after his demise to start begging. At least from that 6 slaves, he can free 2 and sell 4, so that the children will have something to benefit from after his demise. After his demise, he free all of them, and the children are facing a lot of problems, begging in the street. And begging is not, as I said, I have said it before, begging is not what? It's not allowed. It's not encouraged by Islam, except now in our situation here. And let me say it frankly, some of us are even encouraging this begging. Because immediately you see somebody just come and stand and say, come and take. Come and take. And you think you are helping him. Instead of that, if you know the man is a serious person, corner him, call him. Come, Oga, why are you begging? How much do you think you need to start business? He will say, I could remember Malam Senusi was telling us one time here, when he went to Sokoto, one woman met him, and she told him that, Mala, please, can I get some money from you to start business? Malam Senusi said he didn't go with a lot of money. He was thinking the woman is going to measure thousands of naira. After he picked courage, he asked her, how much do you think you need to start this business? He said, Mala, Wallah, if I can get, is it 30,000 or 25,000? I will start, how much? 3,000. He will start business. Malam Senusi said, from there, he was able to give him reasonable amount that she does not think of, something like 20 or 30,000. After he went back home, the woman arranged the 3,000. He said, Mala, that money, I thank God Almighty Allah, I have started something and I've gotten the money, I brought it for you. We are not helping these people that are on the street. We have to look for a way to help them. Not when you just see you start. I'm not discouraging anybody, please. I'm not discouraging, so that you will not say one must be received. He doesn't even want people to do sadaqah. No, sadaqah should be put in the right place. That is what we mean. It should be done in the right place. Somebody who is in need and you know he needs money to start something, if you have, don't even give him free. Give him as a loan. And it is better not to even give him free from beginning. Even if you have that intention of giving him, of leaving it for him, don't tell him from beginning, so that he will be serious with it. Until when he brings it for you, he said he has made his money, then you can tell him to go. Now, we are almost, then the Prophet told him as the most important thing, that had it been he knows, he will not allow that thing to happen. You can't just free your slave and your people will be, subject them to poverty. Inshallah, we are going to stop here. We are, I'm repeating it again. We should try to help people, but we should put it in the right place. I've made mention of it here once. In Iran, when you see Iranian sitting down, you see Malam Saadi here, he knows it. Sitting down in the street, Iranian, they will not give him anything. No. If they want to give, they will just remove the smallest denomination and give it. That is why, because this is our attitude, we took it to Iran. When Iranians see Africa coming, he will be targeting you. Because he knows Africa, he will quickly put his money in his hand in the pocket and bring it out. At times, what I'm saying, they will hold your leg. They say, give them. Because they know if you are giving, you give reasonable money. But Iranian will tell you, why are you in the street? Why are you begging? Your excuse, if after presenting your excuse, he will mention some charity organizations owned by government. Say, have you gone there to tell them that you are in need? That is how to discourage people. We should help, but we should put it in the right place. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين.